Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So we can treat Swami Gopi Mataji. Whenever you're ready, you can start Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All grace to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, verses 19 to 36. The disappearance of Lord Sri Krishna. Text 19. The calves do not suck the treads of the cows, nor the cows give milk. They are standing, crying, tears in their eyes, and the bulls take no pleasure in the pasturing grounds. Text 20. The deities seem to be crying in the temple, lamenting and perspiring. They seem about to leave. All the cities, villages, towns, gardens, mines, and hermitages are now devoid of beauty and bereft of all happiness. I do not know what sort of calamities are now awaiting us. Text 21. I think that all these earthly disturbances indicate some greater loss to the good fortune of the world. The world was fortunate to have been marked with the footprints of the lotus feet of the Lord. These signs indicate that these will no longer be. Text 20. O Brahmana Saunaka, while Maharaja Yudhishthira, observing the inauspicious signs on the earth at that time, was thus thinking to himself, Arjuna came back from the city of Yadus, Dwarka. Text 23. When he bowed at his feet, the king saw that this dejection was unprecedented. His head was down, and tears glided from his lotus eyes. Text 24. Seeing Arjuna pale due to heartfelt anxiety, the king, remembering the indications of the sage Narada, questioned him in the midst of the friends. Text 25. Maharaja Yudhishthira said, My dear brother, please tell me whether our friends and relatives such as Madhu, Bhoja, Dashara, Arha, Satvata, Andhaka, and the members of the Yadu family are all passing their days in happiness. Text 26. Is my respectable grandfather Surasena in a happy mood? And are my maternal uncle Vasudeva and his younger brothers are all doing well. Text 27. His 7 wives, headed by Devaki, and all sisters. Are they and their sons and daughter-in-laws are all happy? Text 28 and 29. Are Ugrasena, those sons who was the mischievous Kamsa, and the younger brother still living? Are Hridika and his son Kritavarma happy? Are Akrura, Jayanta, Gada, Sarana, and Satrajit all happy? How is Pararama, the personality of Godhead and the protector of the devotees? Text 30. How is Pradyumna, the great general of the Vrishni family? Is he happy? and is Aniruddha, the plenary expansion of the personality of Godhead, faring well. Text 31. Are all the chieftain sons of the Lord Krishna, such as Susena, Jarudsena, Samba, and son of Jambavati, the Rishabha, along with their sons, all doing well? Text 32 to 33. Also, Sruta Deva, Uddhava, and others, Nanda, Sunanda, and other leaders of liberated soul who are constant companions of the Lord are protected by the Lord Balarama and Krishna. Are they all doing well in their respective functions? Do they who are all eternally bound in the friendship with us remember your welfare? Remember our welfare. Text 34. Is Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives pleasure to the cows, the censors, and the Brahmanas, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, enjoying the pious assembly at Dwaraka Puri, surrendered by friends. Text 35 and 36. The original personality of Godhead, the enjoyer, and Balarama, the primeval Lord Ananta, are staying in the ocean of the Yadu dynasty for the welfare, protection, and general progress of the entire universe, and the members of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of the Lord, are enjoyed life like the residents of the spiritual sky. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, Krishna and Prabhuji, whenever you can start, Prabhuji, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you, Swami Mataji, for reading the translations. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, titled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna, and slokas from 19 to 36. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschaktadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this chapter, so far we have listened or we have read how Arjuna went to Dwarka to see Krishna and other friends, and also to spend some time with them. And few months over, and Arjuna didn't come back. And meanwhile, Maharaj Yudhishthira seeing some inauspicious signs, like there is disruption in the seasons, and there is a cheating between friends, and there is a misunderstanding between the family members, and there is a fighting between husband and wife, and also the anarthas like lust, greed, anger, they are becoming very normal in people. So far it was not the case, but now he is seeing all these inauspicious signs. So seeing all this, so we see that how Maharaj Yudhishthira speaking to Bhima, saying that, whether Krishna departed from this earthly planet, as Narada Muni indicated in the past. And he also mentions that why he was thinking that, because he has seen some inauspicious signs, like his left side of the body is quivering, and she-jackal is crying, dog is barking at him fearlessly, and then wind is blowing violently, something like this. All these kind of inauspicious signs, bad signs he's seeing. So that's why he's thinking, like, whether the Supreme Lord Krishna disappeared from this planet. So today we will continue from the 19th sloka onwards, continuing that. So in the 19th sloka, we see that, Yudhishthira Maharaj is mentioning to Bhima that, the cows do not suck the teats of the cows, nor the cows give the milk. So this is all the some of the symptoms that Pandavas are going through the Viraha Bhakti. So feelings in separation from Krishna. Of course, the perfect symptoms were exhibited by the gopis of Vrindavana. So when Krishna left Vrindavana to Madura, so that's the time we see from the Srimad Bhagavatam how gopis felt separation from Krishna, how they exhibited their symptoms. And of course, highest of them is Mother Srimati Radharani. And we also hear from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita how Krishna wanted to experience that Virha Bhava, so the love in separation that Mother Radharani went through. So that's why he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he exhibits all the emotions of separation love. So that we can read from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But here they see that the cows are crying like anything. They are standing and crying, tears in their eyes. Says Rudanti, crying. Ashrumaka means they have a tearful faces. So it's not like that, these cows are shedding some tears, and if they wipe it out, no one can understand that there was some crying. Not a little bit of tears are coming. So the constant of tears are coming from the eyes of the cows. So that's why the faces are mentioned here as a tear faces, because even if you wipe it out, so the face looks like the cows has been cried out a lot like that. So that's one point that mentioned here. And then the bulls are, they are not showing any pleasure in the pasturing grounds. So generally the bulls likes to walk in the farming fields very freely. So in the olden days, of course, even today also in the villages of India, so the bulls are very free to roam in the farming fields. So there is no fencing to stop them. But on this day, so they are also not showing any interest or not happy to freely walk in the farming fields. And in the text 20, we see that the deities seems to be crying, and not only that, lamenting and perspiring. They seems to believe. So we see here the deities are crying, means like in India, we see that there are many temples, and not all the temples have Supreme Lord Krishna's or his incarnation deities. So there are many demigods temples like Lord Shiva or Mother Parvati, Lakshmi, Mother Saraswati Devi, or Lord Ganesh. So there are many temples like that. Because not all the people are transcendental or to perform bhakti and go above the three modes. Nistraigunya Bhavachuna, go above the three modes. And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, and those kind of people who exclusively perform bhakti with 100% is very rare. Samahatma Sudurlabha. So due to the influence of these three modes, like mode of passion, goodness, ignorance, so people worship different demigods through various ways. So these deities are crying, Rudanti. So they're crying. So not only crying, they're also lamenting and perspiring. And they seem to be about to leave. So one understanding is like it may not be taken literally that the deities that are installed in the temple, they're walking out. Like we see in the example of Sakshi Gopal. So Sakshi Gopal, to witness, so he walked from the temple along with Brahmana to their village. So not like that. It's like when the priest installs the deity in a temple, so they will invite the Lord to come and reside in that Acha Vigraha. So similarly here, so the demigod deities, they are looking like they are leaving the Acha Vigraha. So that's one understanding here. And all the cities, villages, towns, gardens, so they are all devoid of beauty. So they are all devoid of beauty. Beauty means Brasta Sriyo. And also bereft of all happiness, Niranandaha. So that's why Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking what sort of calamity is going to come or waiting for us. So it's quite common, it's very natural, like when somebody sees many bad signs or inauspicious things, So they could think that, there could be some calamity will be coming, or it might have happened like that. So even in Ramayana also we see that, when Bharata and Shatrughna, they're coming from their grandfather's house to Ayodhya. Of course, by that time, Bharata also sees some inauspicious signs. And when they enter into the Ayodhya also, they notice that, the cities are not decorated and people are not looking happy as they were used to be. So then he understood that there's some calamity probably happened like that. So similarly, this Tumara is also thinking that there might be some calamity is coming. And then in the Sloka 21, so now Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking that, there is some greater loss to the good fortune of the Lord. And that what is that he's thinking? The world was fortunate to have been marked with the footprints of the Supreme Lord. And these signs indicate that this will no longer be. So he kind of thinking that, of course, he already understood from the Narada Muni's indirect points that Krishna disappeared. So that's what he is mentioning here, that so the Supreme Lord probably might have disappeared. And then in the text 22, so while he was thinking like this, like observing these inauspicious signs, and Maharaj is talking to Bhima and thinking himself, at that time Arjuna came back from the city of Vedus. Like in the previous chapters, we hear that after the war is completed, Kurukshetra war, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was established as the emperor of the whole world, capital as Hastinapur. Then Krishna left to Dwarka. At that time, Arjuna also accompanied Krishna along with the other Yadu members. So now Arjuna is coming back from the city of Dwarka. So in the text 23, we see that Arjuna bowed down at the feet of Yudhishthira Maharaj. But you see here he was shown as the dejection, was unprecedented. And his head was down and tears glided from his eyes. So he's looking at Yudhishthira Maharaj, see that, Arjuna was very unhappy. Of course, Arjuna was here unprecedented. His unhappiness is very remarkable. Like Yudhishthira never saw him like that in the past. Of course, he was unhappy maybe a couple of times, which Yudhishthira Maharaj saw earlier, like when his dear son Abhimanyu was lost, Arjuna was unhappy or sad. But here, this time, Arjuna was more unhappy. So that was the observation that Yudhishthira Maharaj was seeing, unprecedented. And his head was down, so he could not able to directly look at Yudhishthira Maharaj. And the tears also coming from his eyes. So and we see in the from the next sloka that it's not that only Yudhishthira Maharaj was there. So that's why Arjuna could able to express his emotions freely like that. But he's in the midst of many other personalities also. But still he was not able to check his emotions. That means how much serious and the severity of his unhappiness. So in the text 24, we see that, now seeing Arjuna like that, so Yudhishthira Maharaj could remember the indications of Narada Muni. So what Narada Muni spoke in the past, previously, indirectly mentioning that so Krishna disappeared from the planet. So that's what Yudhishthira Maharaj was remembering. And we see that Yudhishthira Maharaj is questioning Arjuna in the midst of the friends. So it's not that only Yudhishthira Maharaj was there. There are many other personalities also. So we could see the symptoms of the loving separation from Krishna by the Pandavas here, whether Arjuna or Yudhishthira Maharaj like that. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj he started asking, like asking whether, because Arjuna is coming from Dwarka, so Yudhishthira is asking whether our friends and relatives such as Madhu, Bhoja, Dasaraha, Arha, Satvata, Andaka, members of Yadu family are passing their days in happiness. Yudhishthira Maharaj can ask Arjuna the first question itself, whether Krishna disappeared from this world. But he did not ask that because he is hoping that, Krishna is still there in this planet. We don't want to have that separation from the Krishna because of pure love for Krishna. So they are very great devotees of Supreme Lord Krishna. So that's why he's started asking various other questions, hoping that Arjuna was sad because of one of them. So here he started asking about the well-being of many friends and relatives, like Madhu, Bhoja, Dasaha, like that. So he started asking those questions. So in the text 26, we see that he's asking about his grandfather, Surasena, and also his maternal uncle, Vasudeva, and his younger brothers. Of course, most of you all know that Mother Kunti Devi is the daughter of Surasena. So these Pandavas are the sons of Mother Kunti and Pandu Maharaj. So their mother Kunti is the daughter of Surasena. So that's why here he is saying that grandfather. So for the Pandavas, Surasena is a grandfather. Of course, later Kunti Devi was adopted to King Kunti Bhoja. So that's how her name became as a Kunti. But the biological father of Kunti is Surasena. So that's why the Pandavas, the Surasena is the grandfather of the Pandavas. So the Vasudeva is the maternal uncle. Because Surasena has a brother, his name, and so Vasudeva is the son of Surasena's brother. So that's how the Krishna's mother, Pandava's mother Kunti and Vasudeva are the cousins, like brother and sisters. And that's how Krishna is also the cousin of Pandavas. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking about the wives of the Vasudeva, headed by Devaki. So 7 wives, here is mentioned 7 wives. They are all sisters. So Devaki and the other 6 wives of Vasudeva are all sisters. So asking whether their sons and daughters-in-laws are happy. Devaki had 6 sisters. They're all the daughters of King Devaka. And we hear that from Krishna book or from Bhagavatam that Prabhupada mentions Vasudeva had a few other wives also. So total Vasudeva had 16 wives. But of course, prominently we hear Devaki and Mother Rohini. So Devaki is the mother of Supreme Lord Krishna, and Rohini is the mother of Lord Balaram. So then in the text 28 and 29, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Ugrasena, whose son was mischievous Kamsa. And he's asking about Hridika, Kritavarma, and then Akrura, Jayanta, Sura, Sarana, and Shatrajit. And then he's asking about Balaram. So we know from Krishna book that Kamsa, the mischievous son of Ugrasena, Kamsa. So he puts his father, Ugrasena, into the prison, and then he takes up the throne, or he becomes a king. And this Ugrasena and then Mother Devaki's father, Devaka, they are brothers. So that's why Kamsa and Devaki are brother and sister, of course cousins. So those days, one considers as own brother or own sister, even though they are cousins. They are born from their uncle. But today, of course, things are changed. We call them as a cousin, and we don't look them as our own brothers. But we look them as a different. But that time, Kamsa also sees Devaki as her own sister. So he loves so much. That's why we see that from Bhagavatam that Kamsa takes up the charioteer position when Devaki got married to Vasudeva. Then we see that, Lord Balarama is mentioned as the personality of Godhead and the protector of the devotees. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is only one, who is the Supreme Lord Krishna. But Lord Balarama, being his first expansion, is also comes under Vishnu Tattva. And Prabhupada mentions that all the Vishnu Tattvas, which are the expansions of the Supreme Lord, they are qualitatively and quantitatively equal with the God. So even Brahma Samhita, we see that in Deepacharya Vihita Shantaram Yupipyatya Deepayate Gavartaheta Samana Dharma. Like, they are qualitatively and quantitatively equal with the Supreme Lords. So that's why even Lord Balarama is addressed as here as a personality of God. And Prabhupada also mentions that he is the protector of all the devotees, because he is the Adi Guru. So Adi Guru, so representative of all the spiritual masters. And spiritual master, by the spiritual master only one can liberate from this material world. So in that way, he is also protector of devotees. And then he is asking about the Pradyumna, so who is the general of Vishnu family, and then Aniruddha. So they both are the sons of Supreme Lord Krishna, and Pradyumna is the son of Mother Rukmini. So, and Prabhupada mentions that they are expansions of the spiritual world, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, like that. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking about the chief 10 sons of Lord Krishna, such as Susena, Chardesena, Samba, the son of Jambavati, and Rishabha, along with the other sons. They're all doing well or not, like that. Because we see that, because Krishna has 16,108 wives, and each one has 10 sons. So we can understand how many sons Krishna has, like 161,080 sons. So Krishna's family is very big. So here, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking some of the important personalities like Susena, Chardesena, and Samba, like that. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking about Sutadeva, Uddhava, Nanda, Sunanda, like that. And then he is asking, they are all constant companions of the Lord and protected by Lord Balarama and Krishna. And Prabhupada mentions that they all come into this material world to serve the Supreme Lord in his pastimes when he comes into on this chapter. So many of the associates of Supreme Lord comes to be part of the Krishna's pastimes when Krishna descended in this earth. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking about Krishna now here. So he gives pleasure to cows, senses, Go Brahmanya. And then he is affectionate towards his devotees. He is asking, enjoying the Payas assembly at Dwarakapuri, surrounded by friends. So here Yudhishthira is asking, addressing Krishna as the who gives pleasure to the cows and the Brahmanas, the senses and Brahmanas. So these two are, Prabhupada mentioned, these two are very important. The cow protection and then developing the Brahmanical qualities. So these two are very important. And Prabhupada also mentions in the purport that Yudhishthira Maharaj did not ask whether Krishna is Krishna's well-being, because Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So there is no question of his asking him welfare. So he's always powerful and all happy. So and then Prabhupada also mentions that Krishna is surrounded by the people who are very pious, the Payas assembly. So we want to be closer to Krishna, then we have to develop that qualities. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj is mentioning that the Supreme Person of Godhead, the enjoyer, and Balarama, the Lord Ananta, are staying in the ocean of Venu dynasty for the welfare, protection, and general progress of the entire universe. So it's and the members of the Venu dynasty, being protected by the arms of the Lord, are enjoying life like the residents of the spiritual state. So, and Prabhupada gives in the purport the analogy, like, in this universe also, we see that Krishna in his expansion as Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. So he has his own planet in this universe, and he stays on the bed of Seshanadu, on the snake bed in the ocean of the milk. So Kshira Sagar. So that. So similarly here, so Edu dynasty is mentioned as the ocean of Edu dynasty, and then Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and then Balarama is serving in his pastimes. So the analogy is given. So it's like, the people of the Dwaraka, or whoever with Supreme Lord Krishna, they're all blissful, because in the spiritual world also, everyone is very blissful. So that comparison is given, like members of Edu dynasty being protected by the arms of the Lord are enjoying life like the residents of the spiritual state. So in the spiritual world, it's mentioned, am I right? Sachidananda, Ananda, full bliss. So similarly, even in this material world, when Krishna is staying in Dwaraka, all the Edu dynasty members are enjoying a life like the residents of the spiritual state. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for giving the opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.